Hello, people. Look, we have a stranger over there. See that face all the way across there? That strange face that we didn't see on Wednesday is actually here. Yes, I'm talking about you. Talking about you, Cameron. So you look confused.
We killed him. We killed him, didn't we?
So, sorry, everyone.
We thought about. I mean, we thought about killing him,
get his card number.
What's up, Magic Nutty? Yeah, so obviously this is a replacement stream for Wednesday because we did not have an ad hoc available Wednesday through IRL stuff. So we have rescheduled for today because I didn't want to go ahead without a player purely because of story stuff. Nutty with a resub. Thanks very much. Bads with a resub as well. Holy shitballs. You got 25 months and 21 months respectively. Grants, guys. Thanks very much. First and foremost, I'd just like to thank everybody in the player group and the chat for we had 35,000 live views on our last stream. We had 35,000 people stop by and check us out over the course of the D&D stuffs. So we're doing yeah, it just blew me away. It's a lot of people stopping in, even if it's only for a few moments to check it out. It's really cool. We are getting close to 1,100 followers as well. We're about 1,084 followers. Followers are getting up there as well. Right, so I don't think we got anything else to say apart from the fact that in the Discord I have posted a couple of announcements in the All Things D&D for those that may or may not have seen it yet. Wednesday nights, once Curse of Strahd has come to its completion, which could happen any session pretty much from now on, as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, we will be, well, I will be not running another full campaign on a Wednesday night. Instead, we're going to keep to a mini adventure schedule, mini adventures and one-shots. So what that will mean, or what I would like it to mean, is I'm not going to run all of those one-shots as DMs or mini adventures as DMs. I will run my fair share because I have a number of little adventures that I can run of various levels. But I would like to open it up to all of the DMs in our community that would be interested in either coming up with a homebrew one shot or mini adventure, trying to keep it around sort of 5 to 10 sessions max, sort of thing. 10 sessions max, 1 or 2 sessions, whatever you want to do. So that would mean the likes of Yanti, Roasted Chicken, Sadiq if he's also possibly interested, obviously Baz, myself, and anyone, Grim, yourself included if Grim's out there. I know you've been doing stuff on your Discord and you've been talking about streaming stuff but not sure about actually streaming it and doing it. I'm more than happy to take care of the streaming side for you to take a little bit of stress off the running of it. So yeah, so that pretty much means that obviously we'll have random players from time to time because each DM, when they are looking at doing one of these one-shots or mini adventures, will call for players within the Discord. People will put their hands up, we can do roll tables live on stream, or those DMs can choose their players accordingly, and we run those on a Wednesday night. Obviously, if there's nothing happening, we can just do a just chatting and have a chat about DM stuff, about player stuff, D&D stuff in general. Sunday nights, going forward, obviously we've got Season 2 of Vampire Masquerade coming up on the 7th of November, be starting that, so not this weekend, not this coming Sunday, well, next week will be the one after. 10 sessions for Season 2. Then we'll take a 4 to 6 week break, maybe run a one-shot in between times. Come back with a Season 3, approximately 10 sessions as well for Season 3. And then we will take a long hiatus from VTM, obviously story dependent on the storyteller there. And we will start Campaign 2, which will run however long it runs. We may stop Campaign 2 at some point, maybe 6-month period ish, and run Season 4 of VTM obviously story dependent, or run it to its completion, then get back into VTM and run more seasons depending on story. So that is the broad sort of outlook on content for the future. As far as gaming content is concerned, that's just as and when. Mondays and Thursdays generally will be my gaming nights. Any extras will be just extras. The gaming streams I'm not going to put in a schedule. They'll just be as and when, so I'm not really tied to any sort of schedule. But as far as D&D is concerned, Sundays will be our full D&D night. Wednesdays will be mini adventure one-shots with random players, random DMs, and so forth and so on. Obviously, I'm open to play in other campaigns on other nights, my time dependent. Obviously, I'm playing in Yanti's on a Friday night. We know we have Sanctum 2 to look forward to at some point, so we're definitely waiting on that as well. And other great adventures coming up, hopefully. So DMs out there, if you are interested in potentially being involved in the Wednesday night stuff, shoot me a DM in the Discord, just to let me know your interest. And we can then maybe work out a loose sort of scheduling and based on stories and stuff later on. Anything else anyone else would like to say before we get started? We got mods in the chat there somewhere. We got shout outs. I saw some shout outs go out there. Make sure we get Yanti, JJ, Magic, all the usual suspects. And we shall get into tonight's game. Right, so as we left off last week, should have been last session, but last week we left off. You just defeated several bandits, it seemed, that had taken up shelter in the temple. Searching the bodies, you find gold and items of note, and taking the furs from their bodies to supplement your own to fight the cold within the temple, as the cold mountain air seems to be seeping into the temple from all areas, making it very cold indeed. You find a small fissure leading to the outside of the temple. Not much room to move, but it's an opening nonetheless. You carry on with your investigations. Upon opening the door to the next area of the temple, however, you are faced with some interesting entities. Flaming floating skulls seem to be occupying this space. And as you open the door and then quickly shut it, the attack begins. The sound of the explosions battering against the door. Eventually the door is opened or broken, and the fight continues onwards. Many of you taking fire damage as fireballs are ignited throughout this room. A blizzard was cast to try and abate the enemy a little bit. Eventually, however, the battle was won. However, Scathus was rendered unconscious during the fight, and with the aid of Casimir, you were able to defeat these skulls. Battered, bruised, and beaten, you decided to take refuge in a small room which Casimir leads you to, and is able to lock the door behind you. Small barrack rooms, it seems, from maybe long forgotten soldiers. Once resting up, Karnos keeps talking of wanting to go for a walk, and keeps getting up to head for the door. Is stopped, and while you guys are sort of discussing backwards and forwards some of these incidences, the door mysteriously opens and then closes. Eventually you notice that Casimir is missing. He's no longer sitting in the corner where he was. Adok, deciding that it's prudent to go investigate, see what's happening, turns himself invisible, goes for a bit of a walk, discovers the main entrance is blocked, moving back to the room where the bandits had held up, finds that the small fissure is also blocked. As he's heading back towards the safety of the small room, he notices something in the hallway where the flaming skulls were and goes to investigate and finds himself a interesting staff, which he picks up, returns to the room, and informs you that you seem to be trapped within the temple. Not knowing the temple layout, not knowing if there is any other way out, your only means of exit at this point is now blocked. Adok seems to be acting a little off upon his return. This weird stick that he's carrying, it's an old looking, it looks like a staff, but it's old and gnarled. It doesn't look anything special, but he seems to be clutching it quite tightly. You were just preparing to settle in for the evening, and watches had been organised, and this is where we rejoin you now. Within the cool interior of the Amber Temple, the snow and wind outside seems to have picked up. You can hear it from even from this little room. You can hear the wind sort of whistling up around the outside of the temple. It is cold. You do have the extra furs. And I believe that Karnos and Zadriel were preparing to take first watch, Skathis and Adok to follow, and Fibblestib to complete the final watch. I'll turn it over to the players.
Did Fibblestib put the alarm in front of the door again? I can't remember.
I believe he did.
Yes, I did.
So, did you hear Adok say he wants to be on the front line?
Karnos looks around the room at the others who are in various states of sleep. I heard him say something like that, yeah. Also, he was, he wanted some of the items back that he gave to others earlier on. I thought that was odd. I mean, I know he always wants expensive things, but he's been in a better mood previously. I was quite surprised.
If he only goes for expensive things, then why did he come in with a walking stick?
Maybe he hurt his knee or his hip. It's quite hard work where we've got a sore hip. I've thought about getting a stick myself.
Maybe he got it for you.
It's a bit short, but yeah, I mean, could have.
Maybe it's like a splint he is trying to help you.
Could be. I think Fibblestib's got me covered there, though. We've spoken about things he may be able to do for me, maybe after we get out of this place, or if we're stuck here for a long period of time, whichever it is.
So, are we going to cover this floor first, all the way around, or are we just trying to go straight to somewhere? Because Casimir's not here anymore.
I guess, I mean, maybe we should all decide together on that one. It's a group thing. But normally, in my experience, we would try and clear one area first. Military style. Room by room, door by door. You don't want to get jumped from behind. And you don't want to get miss things that we're here to find things to help us in the war against the Von Zarevich family, right?
All right. And find something to maybe bring back Emilia.
Yeah. If we can. Safely, of course. Are you alright, Zadriel?
Why?
Well, no, just, you've been funny in the recent few days. And by funny, I don't mean anything rude. I just making sure everything's okay with you. Gotta stick together like, a decent team. All the branches of the tree holding up the leaves, because if one branch fails, then some of the leaves fall down and the bird's nest fall out of a tree. You know how the saying goes?
No, I am not a druid, so. But if we see anything that has to do with Strahd, I can't guarantee you I will wait to talk to it. I'm just going to kill it right away.
Okay. I think we're at that point now anyway, right?
Also, did you remember if Casimir said Petrina wanted to be his bride against his will, or wanted to be Strahd's bride willingly? Like, did she want to?
I think it was against her will, was it? I could be wrong, I can't remember.
I mean, because if we bring her back, I don't want her to just go off back to Strahd.
That's a good point. I'm pretty sure it was against her will. Do you hear them voices?
No. I don't know, do I hear the voices? Yeah.
The ambient sound you're hearing is you are hearing it within the temple. Everyone, when you're awake, is hearing it.
Whispers, maybe?
It's very eerie, and Zadriel, because you have an air of magic about you, even though it's divine magic, it's not specifically the arcane. You have a sense of the magics in this place. Things have a very magical feel about them. Even Karnos, with your limited knowledge of the divine, you're even starting to feel it as well. Now that you've been here for a little bit of time, the feel of the place is almost electrical in nature. Like you can feel the sort of static electricity in the air of arcane energy, of magical energy within this place. It's definitely a very powerful place.
So with that, I'll just cast Divine Sense, because I hear the whispers, which is 60 feet around.
60 feet from your current position, you would get
Besides
no signatures other than Skaith. Obviously, Skaith is demonic blood. Definitely gives off a fiendish signature, but apart from that, you don't really sense anything.
DM Carlos, not knowing she was doing that, would have also done the same thing, so I'll use one of mine as well.
Okay, so
yeah.
same result.
I was about to announce the same thing. So.
That's fine. So, same result, obviously, without announcing what you're able to do. It's fair.
So in the morning, before we go, I will make a ceremony for blessing holy water or whatever we want to bless. And then we clear the first floor.
Sounds good, as long as everyone's happy with that, which hopefully they will be. One last thing. You know Fibblester very well, right?
Too well, yeah.
Every time I ask you a question like that, you screw your face up. Is there a reason for that? This is an extra question on top, but...
He's been in my family for generations, so...
So you trust him? He can restore... And I sort of motion to my lead back area. Me back to... close to what I was when I was younger, correct? You would believe that?
Well, it could be close. You might have some metal parts or something. Probably stronger, maybe some guns attached, but, you know.
Guns? What? Guns?
You know, like Charlotte.
Oh, maybe not go that far, but then again, that's... Okay, has he done anything like that before? Fixed someone, I mean.
Yes.
And they were happy with his work?
Probably talk to Steve about it.
Okay, that's fair.
You worried about your self?
Whoops, out of character, that broke me.
Well
Didn't
done.
expect that. Well done. No, I'm not. I mean, just, I haven't been worried about that for a long time, actually. Now you've made me think about it. It's probably, I don't know. Let's not fix. I'd rather you just fix my leg. I'm used to not having that, as you say. No, all good, all good. And then Carlos sort of awkwardly walks around the room, just checking on the sleeping people.
I'll get you both to roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Start. 17.
17.
+1, 17 as well.
Both 17. So as you're having this conversation, out in the hallway, not entirely sure where it comes from, but you hear a door open. Somewhere within, maybe, it's hard to tell. It echoes through these old halls, and then you hear it close. So it was in the distance. It was echoey, and then you hear footsteps again in the distance, slightly echoey on the stone, the cold stone here. Slow and deliberate. Almost sounds like stone on stone.
I mouth the words Casimir and like shrug, like I'm asking a question. Like, what does he think?
Carlos nods. And he whispers sort of, yeah, could be. Maybe he's looking for something while we rest. I don't think it's worth getting up and raising the others. We are all not well. Well, we need our rest is what I'm saying. Look at that goblin by far needs his beauty sleep. We'll just keep an eye at the door. And I sit down sort of in the corner by the door.
Okay.
For the rest of the watch.
Is there anything else that you wish to discuss before we end your guys' particular watch, before we move on?
No, I'm good.
So after you're satisfied that you've made your watch for the few hours that you need it to, kind of hard to tell time, but getting pretty good at judging the shield, the mechanical enchanted sun on your shield. You know, roughly, maybe a couple of 3 hours have passed. You wake Skathis and Adok for their watch, and then turn in yourselves.
Get up, scumbag.
Skathis.
No, sorry, I was kicking Skathis.
Adok.
What? No, it's mine. You can have it.
Can't have what?
Huh?
Can't have what?
Nothing. It's nothing. You don't need this.
Eric's just gonna be like clutching onto his disheveled staff.
Your walking stick?
Yeah. You're fine. You got boots. It's mine.
But my
Actually, do you
boots
need
are...
Oh, actually, whilst I've got you, just real quick, do you feel like you need those boots?
Do you know what an Indian... No, never mind. Yes.
But you do. You need them.
Mm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep. No problem.
Why are you taking back everything?
Me? No. It's just I'm not. It's
You're
just.
regifting. Are you regifting?
Am I what? No. Look, I'm trying to think about what's the most beneficial for the rest of the party, because it should be on stronger members, and if you don't need it, I'm not saying you're not strong. I'm just saying that if one of us will gain more strength, a lot of power, yeah, from using such an item, then I should have it, or they should. But if you know what, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
But I thought you like gold, not power.
Oh yeah, but well, I mean, money's power as well. Money buys you all sorts of stuff. Why have you got money?
Yeah,
Do you want to give me money?
if you stop talking, yeah.
Great.
I give
I was
him
gonna
one
like
gold.
hold out his hand.
Do you give him any gold?
I give him 1 gold.
Watch go alright? Is there anything weird?
Uh, nothing to be worried about. Maybe like some voices. But
Not from Fibble?
no, from outside. But we are safe here, so.
Okay, cool. Carlos doesn't want to go for a walk anymore, does he?
Carlos, do you want to go for a walk?
Oh, he's awake. Oh.
Well, he's waking up Skathers, I thought.
Yeah, he was. And he sort of gave Cascapus a kick, said, "Hey, scumbag," and then lay down to get some rest. He didn't really focus while you guys were talking.
Maybe talk to Skathers. He needs somebody to talk to.
With that, Gathis and Adok, you are roused and awakened. Take your watch for the evening. Vedrell moves to a part of the room, settle down to try and get some sleep. Is there anything that you guys wish to discuss?
Something for the DM. Dark gift. What was it again?
I've already told you it's in Discord. Check your Discord
Right.
DMs.
Cool. Just check the perimeter. Just make sure it's secure.
There's no real perimeter to check. It's a door, and it's been
Yeah.
alarmed. There's no windows.
Okay,
So-
a little stir crazy. I'm checking it anyway.
How are you
I'll
checking
probably-
it specifically? Just looking at the door? Are you touching it? How specifically are you checking it?
Touching it. Just
Fiddlestib, just a query. How does your alarm work? Does someone touching the door set it
Yes.
off?
Give us a second. I'll look at the spell. I don't believe
think they have to-
alarm is set off by touch.
I think they have to walk through it or pass through it, I believe. Just want to clarify.
Okay,
I thought-
you set
I-
the
I was-
alarm.
I thought it was walk through.
window.
I mean, it could
Yeah,
be
no, if
could
the
be
creature tries to go
discretionary.
through it. Oh no, actually, if it's touched or
Oh.
entered.
So, Skathis, as you walk up to the door, this is what I wanted to, just to make sure. You put your hand on the door just to make sure that it's all secure. And an almighty screech is heard. Instead of the usual sound you would get from your alarm, it's just a high-pitched screech. It wakes does it just wake you or everybody?
Everyone would hear it.
Everybody in the room
in
is
their
suddenly
head too. So
is
it's not
suddenly
actually-
sitting bolt upright as this noise piercing within your mind as the alarm is sounded as Skathis touches the door. Skathis, you get it as well. You take no damage from it, but it is loud. It is very, very piercing to the mind, to the point of pain, almost. But now everybody is awake.
Grab my hammer, raise it up. Look at her.
It's okay. I think I just touched the door. I wasn't expecting that. Sorry.
I told you at the very beginning, don't touch the door. Don't touch the window, don't touch anything. Stop
Well-
touching shit.
What window? Alright, I'll go back to sleep. I won't touch anything.
So it takes a little while, but eventually those that were sleeping return to slumber. Skathis, a
I
little
recast the alarm
embarrassed.
on the door before I go back to bed.
Fibble recasts the alarm. Skathis, a little embarrassed maybe, sits or stands away from the door.
Yeah, definitely stands away from the door.
I'll turn it over to you guys as your watch continues over the next 2 or 3 hours.
Haddock is going to waddle up next to Skathis, put his hands
cross them across his chest. He's going to look at Scaphus. Look at the door, look at Scaphus, look at the door, look at the necklace, look at Scaphus. Yeah, so, how's it going, you know?
I don't like it here.
Yeah, neither. Yeah, so you getting much use out of that necklace there? Is that helping you at all?
I believe it is.
Oh, yeah, like you believe it is or you know it is?
I don't know. Try and hit me. See what happens.
Yeah, look, I don't want to do that stuff. You don't want me to hit you, it's, you know. Really? Can I?
Roll a wisdom save. Haddock, please.
$17.
For a split second, and then it sort of dissipates, but for a split second, as Scathus says, hit me and find out, your grip tightens on your staff, and the intent to pick it up and thwack him across the head with it was there, then it's gone.
May I still go to do that?
Up to you, but that the intent was there. Like it felt like you really, really wanted to, then it was just gone. It was almost uncontrollable, but you managed to sort of fight through it. But it's up to you what you do.
So I grip onto this raggly looking staff. He's going to look at you and be like, all right, well, you asked for it. I have you know that this here is quite a solid piece of wood, yeah? You ready? Close your eyes.
I'm not closing my eyes.
No, well, then how do we know if it's not your reflexes than just defending you and not the amulet? Close your eyes. Trust me.
All right.
So Scathus closes his eyes.
Yeah.
You close your eyes. Adok, what are you going to do?
Can I, as I go to hit Scathus, can I pickpocket the necklace from him? You know how like...
Yeah, he's wearing it, I believe. I believe he's actually wearing it. So you'd have to make a sleight of hand.
Yep.
Be at disadvantage because it is around his neck. And even though his eyes are closed and he is sitting, it's not going to be an easy thing to get off without him noticing.
That's fine. You know how they street performers do it where they're trying to steal your watch?
So you want to sort of bump into him and attempt to do it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's change this up. Yeah, we'll just make a straight roll then. Sleight of hand. Because you're distracting him with the... You're going to sort of knock to the side of the head or knock him on the shoulder with the staff and then... Describe sort of how you intend to distract him to remove this necklace.
Fantastic. That is exactly what I was going to do. I was going to pretend to, as I go to whack the staff forward, trip, bump into him and fall into him, but then take the necklace at the same time.
Okay, so roll a sleight of hand. Scathus, I'll get you to roll a perception, but be at disadvantage because your eyes are closed.
$25.
Ooh, that was close. 25 versus 22.
Hang on, give me a sec. Gotta do the second roll.
Could be lower because it's a disadvantage. Remember, right click on D&D Beyond for disadvantage or advantage.
23.
So it's 22 still. So you don't... It's close. So what I'm going to say here is as you go to sort of swing with the stuff and you drop, you sort of bump him. Oh, sorry. And you sort of pat him down and go to push yourself back up. And you sort of reach up and you do get the clasp off quite easily. Sleight of hand was really good. Scathus, however, you do feel something. You feel Adok's hand on and around your neck area. You're not entirely sure what's happened, but you did feel it up sort of around your sort of chest area, like he was pushing off as he was pushing himself back up. It's kind of a close contest there. So you felt something, but you're not sure what it is.
As I get back, I go, oh, look, I'm so sorry, but hey, Scathus, open your eyes.
Yeah, and I just gotta dangle the necklace in front of you. I don't think this is working for you, mate.
Where is it?
Because I'm just saying, if it's not working for you, either I gotta have it or somebody else. But you know, we gotta be strong, mate. You and I, yeah. I shouldn't be able to do this, but I've got it.
But you didn't hit me. You fell on me.
Well, I mean, well, what would you theorize is the definition of a hit, yeah?
You want to know what the definition of a hit is, do you?
Well, from your point and your perspective, wasn't it a foreign object hitting another foreign object, therefore being
so
a
you
hit?
mean what you mean is something like this.
What do you do? So Gaithus reaches out and socks you right in the jaw.
Would I be able-
19 to hit.
Would I be able to use shield as a reaction?
I would say so.
My
What is-
AC becomes 20.
So you hit him, but you strike an energy in front of him that stops you from actually connecting with him. Adok, you were a little surprised, but you were quick enough to get that shield up as you saw him coming. Maybe you figured he may try and hit you. It still shocked you that he was that quick. It was very fast.
Yeah, exactly like that. That is a hit. See, same difference. But you see, I'm holding the amulet, and you actually didn't connect with me because it's working for me, not for you.
Can I do perception to see if he's lying to me?
It's not a perception check.
What is it then?
That'd be as far as insight's concerned, you as a character, if you believe he's lying to you, that's what you believe. I'm the whole insight check thing is kind of grinding on my gears lately. I think insight's used far too much. If you believe that he's lying to you, then you as Gaithus act accordingly.
Well, my character personally doesn't trust him.
Then play it out accordingly. RP it accordingly.
How about I hang on to the amulet for a while, just to make sure?
Yeah, look, I don't know. How about, right, how long have you had the amulet for? A couple of hours now, yeah?
Yeah.
And I still managed to get it off you. What about if I have it for a couple of hours, and you try and get it off me, and if you manage to do so, then you can have it. Fair's fair, yeah?
All right, tell you what. Have it in the palm of your hand.
I've got it in the palm of my hand.
No,
Right.
hold it out in the palm of your hand.
I'm not going to do this. You're going to snatch it. You're a lot quicker than I am. I'm not stupid.
Well, you're saying it's protecting you.
Well, I'm not wearing it, am I? I'm just holding on to it.
So hold it in your palm of your hand.
No,
If
I need to wear it. But okay, Scafus, mate, listen, look at me. Yeah? Look, come down to my level. No, kneel down. Come here. Do
Squad.
you know anything about magic?
A little.
Great. You see, I know magic. I do magic. Fibble knows magic, yeah? See a little gnome? See that gun? He made that. It's magic. There's a certain thing that takes, it's called time, with magical items to get them to work at their maximum capability. Correct? You with me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
You've got to spiritually, attune to whatever. I'm saying that you've had it well over a couple of hours now, and if it's not working for you,
it's probably not going to work for you ever. Where it's better off to let somebody else have a crack, attune to it magically, relevant time frame, equals shares, and then we can see if it's working for said person. Doesn't have to be me. Could be Fibble. I'm just saying, I would like it to be me, but it could be Fibble. Could be Carnos. Just not you.
Adok, just give it back.
But is it working though?
Adok, give it back.
You're going to wake up everyone. They're going to be mad at you again. I'm asking, no, I'm thinking of the well-being of everyone else. If you want to give it to somebody else, give it to somebody else. Do you want me to give it to somebody else?
Fine, give it to me. I'll give it to somebody else.
Yeah, but I don't know if I trust you. All right, I'll tell you what, benefit of the doubt. I will give it back to you, so I'm going to watch you, and if you don't give it to somebody, I'm going to be very mad at you, and I'm going to steal some of your stuff when you're not looking.
Some of my stuff.
Yeah, which you probably don't have a lot of. I'm going to take your clothes. I'll just take them off your body.
Fine.
All right? Got to be nice. You got to play nice with other people. Yeah? Can't be selfish, right?
Like you.
Hey, I said, if it's not working for you, give it to somebody else. I'm thinking of everyone. You're not. Here, have it. You know what? If it makes you feel better, be the bigger man. Have it. You really are a little devil, aren't you?
So do you hand it back over?
Well, kind of, yeah. But it's kind of holding it out to him.
Athos?
I go to reach out and take it.
Yeah, I gotta let it go.
All right.
But I'm gonna watch her like an eagle eye.
I'll put it back around my neck.
So during this time, I will get you both to make a perception roll at disadvantage, seeing you are involved in this whole mistrust back and forth. You're probably not taking any notice of what's going on around you.
I got a 6.
Trashy, right click, disadvantage, dude.
8.
8 and 6, yeah. You guys don't really notice anything apart. I mean, the ambient noises are there. You can hear the voices just on the edge of your hearing within the ambient noise of this temple, but it's nothing that you haven't heard since you've been here. It's all the same sort of stuff. Is there anything else, anything more to this conversation before we end your watch?
I'll go sit in a corner, just listen and watch for anything unusual or anything.
And I did fix your character sheet for that amulet to Scathus, so it does.
Yes.
It is stacked.
I see that.
Yeah. It does not need to be attuned to work.
Yep.
It's just so you're aware. The rest of your watch goes without it. You both basically, I'd say you both sort of sit there looking at each other, shooting the occasional sort of look. I'd say Adok mumbles under his breath several times, sort of looking at you and shaking his head, and you get the impression he's definitely not happy with what's just transpired. And I'd say vice versa. Scathus probably shoots you the occasional glare, trying to steal from him, more or less. But the rest of the watch goes without incident. You know that the time has passed. Time to wake Evldoa for his final watch. So you can finish the rest of your sleep. Who's waking Evldoa up?
I'll go do it.
How exactly are you waking Fibble up? Are you doing it gently? You're going to
Gently.
kick him?
Gently.
Evldoa, you were awoken by Scathus.
42. What? Sam, what's going on? You didn't touch the door again, did you? No. Why did it make that sound? Should have been a nice ringing bell.
You
Fucking
can check
broken.
it out. You can check it out when you get up. I'm going to
Yeah.
bed.
Go to bed. Night.
Night.
Adok. Before we switch over to Fibblestep. You move yourself away from the group as much as possible, probably over to the corner where Casimir was sitting before he disappeared. You sit, pulling the furs around you to keep yourself as warm as possible. The staff resting across your sort of thighs and as close to your body as it can get, hanging on to it for dear life. It seems you just don't want to let it go. It's yours. I need you to roll another wisdom save for me.
A 7.
You know that this place holds untapped power. You've been in Barovia long enough, and you listened when Casimir spoke. And when he spoke the words that this is where Strahd gained his unholy power, didn't think much of it at the time. But now, all you can think about is that this place contains power. Power to destroy Strahd, maybe. Certainly the power to possibly get you out of here, get you home, which is ultimately what you want. Those thoughts consume you, and you eventually do drift off to sleep. But that is the forefront of your thoughts. Fibblestep, you do notice Adok sort of moving himself away, and he seems to be clutching that staff like it's a great weapon or a great thing, but to you it's just an old stick. I mean, it looks like an old branch, an old gnarled branch. It looks like it's the height of a staff. It just looks like an old stick of some sort. You're not entirely sure why he's hanging onto it. Probably don't really care either, but you do notice his intent with it. It's definitely noticeable. Is there anything that you wish to do during the course of your watch? On your own, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna ritually cast Detect Magic, which takes 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna open the door and see what I see outside magically.
You're going to open the door magically?
No, I'm gonna open the door.
Are you going to open it and see what you can see within that range? Okay.
Yeah, within the 30 feet from the doorway.
So are you going to disable the alarm first?
I don't need to.
It doesn't react with you? Okay,
yeah.
cool. So
I've set it to only open to me.
Okay, so you can open the door, which we will do, just to show people line of sight here. As you take the 10 minutes, you quietly open the door, and within the 30 feet, obviously, all of the magical items that you and your party carry glow with that arcane energy, including the old stick that Adok now carries. Gives off a very strong arcane signature. The 30 feet out from where you are, nothing else really gives off an arcane signature at all within that 30 feet. I mean, 30 feet out would have you sort of in a pretty good area, but nothing else sort of catches your attention.
No, just go back in. And then look at Adok's staff and just go, why? Why is that glowing? It's just a stick. Why is a stick glowing? Maybe it's a... he's imbued it. That's it. Wow. Where did you get the stick from?
Make an intelligence check for me.
23.
Safe assumption. Artificer to Artificer. You know that Artificers have an innate ability to change properties of some items. I don't know. I don't know that you would know his specific abilities. But I'm pretty sure he's done something to it to disguise it. Maybe.
Just wondering if I'd ritually. No, I'm gonna leave it for the moment. Just like, glowing stick. Why would he make it stick glow? Oh well. Just keep on looking around.
Roll a perception check for me, please, for your watch.
Yep,
Natural
that's it.
one.
I'm not using those dice anymore. 4.
Oh, my stuff's not working because, of course, I changed my Twitch account. All good. Fix that. But a natural 1. Nothing really catches your attention. You seem to be preoccupied with the glowy stick. And why Adok would make a stick glow or give it some magical properties, you're not entirely sure why I'd even bother. But maybe you'll ask him. Maybe you won't. Who knows? But for the remainder of the evening and to the time when the rest of you start to stir is relatively uneventful. Or at the very least, Fibbleston was not aware of any ongoings or things happening outside of this room. So you all gain the benefits of a long rest, return to maximum health, and your spellcasting ability is renewed as you all start to awaken to continue your investigations of the Amber Temple.
When everyone wakes up, the room will be filled with food that tastes
Yeah, but it's satisfying, but tastes like nothing, basically.
sawdust.
Yeah.
I love this food. It tastes so good. Like, I can't recall the flavour, but it's lovely. Thank you, Mr. Stib.
Keeps us alive. Oh, by the way, Cedriel, some water over in the corner if you want to turn that to wine.
I was thinking if anyone has any water or something they want to bless with holiness, I can make holy water. Just stick it in the middle and I'll start working on it, which takes, I think, an hour. Yeah,
Ceremony takes an hour to cast.
Yeah, well, there's 30 gallons of water, so have fun.
I've got 2 flasks. I'll keep one as water. You can have the other to turn into holy water. He puts it in the middle.
Anyone else wanting to get their water blessed?
Adok would, but immediately as soon as he wakes up, you would all see him throw this staff into his leather jackets, and you'd hear him mutter in a gravelly tongue, "Gretang," and a bit of a glow comes out, and then he would bring the stick back out, and it just looks like a normal, like raggly staff, same as it did before. And then he'd walk over and put his water skin down. But anyone with magical, I would assume that I've done something.
You've been around Adok enough to know that, yeah, whenever he casts any kind of spell, he uses his native tongue.
Well, I can't talk for an hour because I'm vocally somatic and doing that shit. So
Zadriel is kneeling, going over her prayers of blessing.
Adok's gonna walk over to Skathis and go, "So, how's
How's that necklace going for you, buddy, pal? Ready to give it somebody else a crack? Fibbles, maybe? Fibble, do you want a necklace of protection, mate?
It's working fine on him.
Is it? Oh, Scapus.
I believe Fibble.
Fibble, do you know it's working on him? Because I've got proof it doesn't. Well, I have proof. I don't have proof now.
What, did you try to hit him and it was harder to hit or easier to hit him?
Well, I just managed to get him, hit him and get it.
He tripped on me.
That's not hitting someone.
Oh, no, I beg to differ. I did it. Carlos, what is the definition?
Yeah.
What is the definition of a hit?
Contact in between two objects at a high speed. And I
What does it
throw
have
a
to be a
rock
high
at Adok.
And I would say, as Adok has
that's it.
turned to talk to Kaunos at this point, you would not see it coming. So, no shield on this one. Pibblesib, there's plenty of debris in this place. Rock, there's little bits of concrete and bits of wood. So, whether it's a rock or a piece of wood, up to you. But roll to hit using your strength modifier. As
No, it'd be Dex because it's ranged.
Depends on how. Do you want to hit him to hurt him or just to hit him?
No, just to prove the fact that
Okay.
that's
Dex.
what a hit is. So 22.
It definitely hits. Raid! What's up, guys?
See, that's a hit.
And
Ow!
You
What is
did.
that?
I did.
you'll
the
take
rock
one
did-
point of bludgeoning damage. It wasn't intentional, but that was a good hit. So we'll take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. You get clipped up the back of the head with a piece of stone.
Yeah, see, Fibble's right, Adok. That's it. That's how you describe a hit, right there. That's
Yes,
a hit.
but also, if I were to just walk up to Fibble, like I'm about to do right now, very slowly, and just slowly close my fist and pump it into your shoulder, that is still a bloody hit, isn't it?
No, that's like a very light touch.
Oh, no, but I've hit him, technically.
No, you just touch me.
Yeah,
Oh, but-
you look like you're going in for a cuddle, mate.
And then the owl will land on his head.
Get this
See,
contraption
that-
off my head.
That's touching. See? Touch. And then he takes off and lands on my shoulder.
Look, all I'm saying, right, is I'm looking out for what's best for the party. And clearly, someone isn't. I've got a sneaking suspicion. I've got no proof, but I had proof. I think I've got proof. The Scafer's necklace, whatever it is, we know it does something. Magically protect you. It's not working for him, I think. Maybe. I'm not quite sure, but...
Maybe he's not
Somebody-
attuned to it yet.
Well, he's had it for hours. How can you not attuned to it when he's had it for ages?
It's Gathus. He's always a little bit slow.
All I'm saying, like, what? Yeah, he is a little bit slow, but that's besides the point. You know, no offense, Scapers. It's just I'm trying to look out for, make us as a whole more powerful as an entity, as together.
Did you say us whole?
Yeah.
Yeah. Karnos can be like that too, but still.
What?
I don't understand where this power hungry has come from. Like, we're pretty powerful as it is.
No, but we can. No, see, that's where you're wrong. We can be more powerful. More.
But you want to become a vampire as well.
If it meant well, depending,
You'd be stuck here for the rest of your life. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, this is what vampires get. Right, you understand?
Okay.
Don't talk like that.
All right. How about something more powerful than a vampire? You name it. What about a god? You want to be a god? I want to be a god.
Sounds pretty boring being a god. Come
No.
on, you know everything. How are you meant to? No, it's no fun.
Adok, that's
Please
one-way
tell me
ticket
my
to
hours
bad
up.
news.
Over the course of over the course of this conversation, you would complete your bless spell, and through the course of the bless spell, you're listening to this back and forth between the four of them over the adult talking about the amulet and then the whole hitting thing, and then the back and forth, and Skathis eventually, Karnos eventually draws the sun sword with in a not threatening but a passive aggressive manner towards Adok, telling him to quit it, stop being a bit weird. And it's about that time that your spell is completed, and the water that has been put out for your blessing is blessed and now holy water.
And Adok, when did you get the stick? And where did you get the stick?
What? It is
Cast Stone of Truth.
staff, first and foremost.
So, before we carry on any further, Zone of Truth has been cast, which engulfs this entire space. All those that wish to try and oppose it need to make a wisdom save. So Zadriel, as this room is quite charisma save, sorry. As this room is relatively small, and most of the group will be within your within 10 feet of you, they would all get a +5 to their save as well.
That's true.
Unfortunately for this particular incident.
Go
A lot of
ahead,
people
Adok.
don't want to tell the truth, eh? Jesus Christ.
25 for Karnos.
I did the wisdom, but then I was sitting there going, actually,
No, it's
I feel
charisma.
like...
It's charisma.
Yeah, it's charisma.
Would you mind if I...
Same dice roll.
Would I be able to rebuke my trying? Can I decide to fail it?
Yes,
feel
you
like...
can. You don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wish to tell the truth, then you can tell the truth.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you want to fail your roll. So okay, you redact your roll, not a problem. So Karnos and Fibblestiff both passed, so you guys don't have to tell the truth.
Didn't roll, so I.
Oh no, you didn't
Zone
roll.
of
That was your
Truth-
dex check. Sorry, I missed
Yeah,
that.
no, the Zone of Truth goes up, and I would just let it go.
Okay,
'cause-
so everyone except for
Likewise.
Karnos, everyone except for Karnos is allowing the spell to take effect. Karnos does want to tell the truth, apparently.
Dark gift, my man.
Where'd you find this stick?
True. Oh yeah, you'd know. So yeah, that makes sense. DN's inspiration if you don't already have it, Karnos.
Thank you.
Are you asking Adok?
Where did you find this stick, Adok?
Adok's gonna look at you dead in the eyes and go, I didn't find a stick.
Where did... Your wooden stick. What is it?
What do you mean? I haven't got a wooden stick.
What's in your pack?
What do you mean? In my pack? Well, I've got a lot of stuff. What's in your... I mean, I've got alchemist supplies. I've got my mess kit, my playing cards. I've got some gold, rations.
People, you
Your
are
stuff,
good at
Adok.
gibberish. Yeah, there you go. Your stuff.
Oh, you mean this? Shabbly stuff. Where'd I get it? Well, out there.
And
Where'd you get your,
why are you casting magic onto it?
well, to make it look shabblier?
Why?
Because I didn't like the way that it looked before.
Why are you taking Skathis' necklace off?
Because I honestly don't feel like it's working on him, and therefore it deserves to be on somebody else, preferably me, so it can work. Why are we questioning me and not anyone else? What's going on right now?
Why do you want to be on the front line?
Well,
Like
to head forward, to lead and to be in charge and to grow and to get more. Really, I just want to get stronger, to be honest. That's really it. Why are you questioning me? Should somebody else ask a question? Why did you
Because
ask?
the first time I met you, you beat on yourself and hid under the bed. And now you want to be in the front line with a stick.
Because I suddenly had a change of heart, yeah, ever since I got to this temple, and I'm thinking, right, okay, hear me out. Everyone, no, I'm being full quid, yeah? Everyone, pay attention. Right now. Where did Strahd get his power? Yeah?
Here?
Correct. That's correct. Everyone knows this, yeah? You're not alone. Class, go on. Yes?
Adok, you want to be a god, you said. I heard you say it just before, right?
Yeah, don't you? Is that what you're trying to DM? Imagine if I was your DM.
No.
I heard once
Yeah, we're
about a
waiting
man.
for that, David. But,
while all this is going on, the owl would land on Adok's staff, and then I would instantaneously know what that staff was as I cast Identify.
Very cool. Evldoa is able to use the owl to cast spells that way, which is very, very cool. And it is a Staff of Frost.
As it's doing this, Carl says, I heard about a man, an elven man, who became a lizard man, who wanted to be a god once. You know what happened to him? Yeah, carry on.
Well, I don't really know any lizard gods, so I assume he didn't turn into one.
He became a god, or as much of a god, and then he got slain by the Morning Wood.
What?
Morning Lord.
No, the Morning Wood.
I mean, the thing that Scafus wakes up with.
Carnage, you can't do that anymore.
No, I cannot. The group's name that defeated this god called Lurs Radon was defeated by a group called the Morning Wood. It seemed like a joke. He was exactly what you were doing now, trying to become as a god. He had almost succeeded, or pretty much had.
Fibblestep, you would know with the Identify spell that the Staff of Frost would give the user resistance to cold damage while holding it. You have the use of Cone of Cold, Fog Cloud, Ice Storm, and Wall of Ice. It has 10 charges. But the kicker here is it can only be attuned by a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or a wizard. So while it is a very powerful staff, it cannot be used by Adok, however.
Adok, last question. You're going to help us kill Strahd, yes?
Yeah, yeah, of course. If it's gonna help me. I mean, you're gonna help me kill Strahd if it's gonna help you. Help me.
I will kill Strahd regardless. So.
We're here to find a way to kill Strahd so we can get the fuck out of here.
Exactly my point. This is why I'm saying, yeah, this place full of power.
Not to become
Strahd.
Strahd.
I'm not saying that we become Strahd, because as Baz has mentioned, probably going to kill anyone who does become Strahd. I mean, Baz is the ethereal person that I've given a nickname to over Karnos. Just came to me in a dream once last night as I was sleeping.
Anyway.
It was a potato farmer.
We're fucking about too far. We need to cover the first floor, I think, before we go further.
I saw like rooms along that hallway where those floating skull things, which fucking hurt, I might add. By the way, Adok, you can't use that staff.
You
can't use that staff.
How do you know?
Adok.
Yeah?
Look on the staff.
I am?
And you'll see my owl standing on top of it.
He's going to try to shoo it away. Hey, off! It's my stuff!
You can't use that staff.
I can, and I'll prove it to you. Ready? And he's got to try and do something with it. He's got no.
You're going to try to do something with it? Roll. This is going to be funny. Roll 1, 2, 3. Roll a d4 for me.
2.
2. Now I'll get you to roll a intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check.
19.
19. You concentrate on the staff. You know yourself you can't attune to it. You know it needs to be attuned. it still feels cold to the touch. And as you, what are you specifically? Are you pointing at anyone, or are you just pointing it out in front of you? Give me a sort of idea of what Adok's sort of doing with the staff.
Adok is going to magically try and imagine just like a sleet of snow falling around the room in a massive circle.
So you're holding it up above your head?
And yeah, just encircling it.
As you start circling it, the temperature on the staff drops quite sharply. It almost causes you to drop it, in fact. It was quite a sharp drop in temperature. You have no idea what this... You know it's something to do with cold. You don't know anything about the staff. You know you can't use it. But the rest of you notice as he's sort of spinning it above him, you can see sort of spits and spats of ice just sort of blinking and then blinking out. And it's like that for maybe 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, directly above Adok, and only Adok, and a downward motion is almost like a sleet storm, hailing bits of ice and snow directly down at you. Adok, you will take...
This is gonna hurt.
Oh, ignore that one. What is it? D8. 18 points of cold damage as shards of ice pierce your body from above and behind as this ice shower just appears out of nowhere and starts peppering you with ice. Only for a few seconds, and then it stops, and the sputs of ice and snow sort of happen again, and the staff, your spell that was covering your staff, dissipates at the same time, revealing the ivory white staff with the ice crystal on top in its place.
Adok's going to use the staff to pick himself back up, all bruised and battered. He's going to look at Fibble and go,
See, I told you I could use it.
Yeah, that would be great when you want to kill yourself.
We have to stop doing this or we are all going to die in here.
Yeah, Adok.
Let's get ready to go. Take your waters. I don't even want to heal you right now. I'm so mad.
Yeah, discussion.
It's a good staff, Adok. It really is a good staff. It's just not made for us.
Let's
Yeah.
Shall we all agree? Let's clear the bottom floor first, room by room, checking things out slowly.
Go back down that room that we were in.
So
Because I saw
by
doors.
bottom floor, you mean the floor that you're currently
The
on?
floor we're on, yeah.
Sorry, the floor we're on, yeah.
Because technically this is the upper floor, so you know.
Well, yeah, I guess we don't know that, though.
Well, you kind of would, because the balcony that you were out on when you first came in leads down 30, 35, 40 feet to a lower level. You can see it, you guys, when you're standing up, you can see down over this large open area, which is aglow with the amber that's everywhere in this place.
Sweet. Clear this floor.
Yes, on the left side.
Does anyone have paper and pen? We could mark a map out of this place as we go. In case we see stairs, we can come back to.
I think I'm all out.
People,
I
don't you are Artificer.
I have paper, and I have charcoal. I have charcoal. I'm drawing charcoal, I think. Do I still have charcoal?
Okay, you map.
So, Fibble, you're going to roughly map out where you are and where you're heading to and been during the course of this.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it as you go, or are you going to do it when you stop? Just so we know exactly how this is all going to come down.
Well, I've already roughly know what I know. So I'll do this giant room, put the statue in, the pillars, and that room that we had the fight in.
Yep.
And then the hallway.
Roll a history check with advantage, firstly, just to Let's see how good your memory is.
26.
Pretty good. So yeah, you've managed to map it out pretty well. It's, I mean, you've only been here, you've been here a while, and you can step out the door and map out the area you're currently standing in with the 2 rooms. So it's not too bad. So we'll hold that thought. We're going to take 5 minutes, guys. Make coffee, take a leak, whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. Nutty's making a coffee. It's going to get noisy, so probably a good time to take a break. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stick it out with us. Welcome, Raiders. Hang out with us for 5 minutes more. We're going to be coming right back.
pay means you're ready to roll.
And we're back. Yes, you are. Yeah, see, you are ready, dude. Like, we know. Gonna waiting on Trash to come back, but we are back live again. Again, Raiders, Zach the DM. Cheers for the raid, my friend, and the follow. Appreciate it very, very much. Soul Crush, what's up? Ooh, so yes, Cam. Sound like you got it all organised, dude.
He's run away.
Ah, pussy.
We talked about it. Now he's nervous being.
His dinner probably arrived.
He's like, go grab.
I think he was actually ordering it just before.
Yeah, his food's probably turned up. That's all good. We can wait. Wait a little bit. Just a little bit.
We push him out into the alleyway.
Yes, so Zach DM, we are running Curse of Strahd. It's running the module, but with a little bit of homebrew content sort of thrown in for good measure. So I'm not running it word for word, page for page for the module. I have thrown my own little bit of a spin on it as well. So for those that have run the module, played it, or DM'd it, you will notice the differences. It's I like to add stuff. Change up creatures and monsters and things they can do just for funsies. But we do focus very much on story and RP. So as the title suggests, story first, no rush RP.
No RP rush.
No RP rush, yeah. Just enough homebrew to stop people looking stuff up. Exactly. That's what it is. Just enough homebrew for someone to go, I know that monster, and then go, wait, I didn't know they could do that. So, if everyone is ready, we jump right back into our story. You have prepared yourselves. I think you were talking about mapping out the area. Fibble's just drawn up a quick sketch of the area that you have seen, the large open area leading down, the stairway leading down, the room where the bandits had been, the room you're currently in, obviously the entrance, the fissure, and the hallway with the doors that he had spied leading down that hallway as well. So you may now move yourselves throughout the we'll open these ones up because they were open already. Give the viewers a bit more of what you can see here. So as you do move forward slowly, steadily, you walk into the hallway where the flaming skulls had been, and you do indeed spy several doorways. All the doors are closed. You spy the charred corpse of this individual. The remains are definitely far beyond recognition. Been here for quite some time. You can see the remains. Fibbleside probably would know this more so than anyone else. The remains of a spell book of sorts, a tome, which would look very much like a spell tome to the more arcane users over the divine users. And I would say with your intelligence roll from earlier, Fibble, you would also probably assume that this may in fact be where Adok had acquired his newly found item, quite possibly. Do what you will with that information. So, you have 3 doors to choose from.
But only one path we can go down.
So wait a minute.
4 doors. You've got double doors at the end here as well.
Was the tome completely destroyed, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. It looks like it's intact from looking at it, but you know, just by looking at how charred it is, if you picked it up, it would just destroy it. It's almost like it's burnt in its shape and everything else, but just to touch it would be enough for it to just crumble and fall away.
I'm going to fix that. Damn
Yeah,
it.
no, it's well beyond the mending, definitely.
Well, Carlos.
Right, I'll check this door, open the room. Now, can I just make a quick suggestion?
We
If
kill anything that's in there? No worries.
Yes, but the creatures in this place are a little tougher than what we've come across so far. If we do see creatures, maybe we focus on one at a time. Everything focused onto one will take it down quicker, in my experience.
I'm going to investigate this door that I'm standing in front of.
What are you looking for? For it to be locked?
I know I am looking
or
for traps of any description.
So, obviously you're not proficient in the trap finding, but roll investigation.
14.
With a 14, you're pretty confident that there is no mechanical device that is preventing this door from being opened or that would cause any damage to you or your party.
Wait, I try to open it.
You open it, and as you enter the room, it's dim. Even though I'm not running darkness in these sort of areas, just so you guys can see and the viewers can see. So the area's dim. Like, there's no lights in here, but the glow of the amber seems to give an ambient light almost throughout this complex, which affords you some vision. It's still very dim light nonetheless. Stone blocks resembling tables stand in the center of this small room, covered in dust. Carved into the stone walls, niches filled with hundreds of dusty bottles. Cobwebs hang from the wooden ladders that lean against the walls. Ceiling in here is around about 15 feet high. Looking around the bottles, Fibblestub, I would say, and Adok would probably be more interested with the alchemical nature of your characters. Looking at some of these containers, they've been here for a long time, and all of the contents, if any, have long evaporated and dried. Sticky residues remain in some, but for the most part, they have lost any efficiency to do anything a long time ago. In fact, even one or two of the ladders, just looking at them, if you put any weight on the rungs of those ladders, you're going to go right through it. It's old, rotten, rickety.
Hey, Haddock.
Long neglected.
Yep. There's these old ladders. If you break out one of those crappy rungs, you can have a piece of crap stick, just like your other one.
Again, I don't have a stick, Kainos. As you can see,
Me either. I got hurt and it got destroyed.
Okay, right. I feel like, is it humour who you're trying to use?
Yeah, I think it was his attempt of humour.
Yeah, I've got a book you might want to read. It's about how to be a bard. Got a couple of jokes, things like that. Do you want to maybe have a look?
Probably not the best time and place.
Let me know.
Artificer, is this potion reliquary or something? Do you know?
Yeah,
Can we use anything?
It's an alchemy. Stop. Sure. Any vials that are still usable?
I mean, the vials themselves probably would be, some of them, definitely. I'd say the stoppers are probably long rotted, so you'd have plenty of empty glass vials and some containers that would be usable. But as far as the contents are concerned, the contents are completely unusable.
I'm looking to up my vial count for my
Roll a
things. So
D6 for me.
A D6. Screw it, I'll just use this one here. 4.
So you find 4 intact vials that would be suitable for what you require, what your requirements are.
Yeah, no, this is all junk now. Would have been interesting to see this place when I was actually, still. How old is this place again? 2,000 years old? Or something?
Yeah, or something.
Ibu, you're talking to yourself. We left. Come on.
And indeed, as you turn round, you find that your friends have all vacated the room and headed back out of the hallway.
No, that's just rude. You tell me to have a look around and then you leave me.
Are you inspecting dirty old glass bottles?
Yeah, but I found these really good 4 ones, which I can put that my elixirs in. Which, by the way, does anyone want one?
Yes, I absolutely do. Acquisition is power.
Check the door, Carlos.
Right, I'll do the same thing.
I'm going to investigate the store for the same
Investigation.
thing, mechanical traps.
No problem.
22s.
I
Again,
would like a potion.
does not appear to be any kind of mechanism that you can see.
Okay,
Bearing
I'll
in
try-
mind that Karnos probably doesn't know a whole lot about traps. May know a little bit, but in your adventuring time, but definitely not proficient in it in any way, shape, or form.
Nope, I am not.
What you see before you is a 20-foot long, 10-foot high hallway. Bare stone, has an amber door at the end. So this door is a stone door. And it's the same amber stone as the ceilings and the walls.
Now, I'm carrying the sun sword this whole time since I lit it up earlier.
Yep, that's fine.
Just as a note, am I getting any feeling from the sun sword at all, or is it just blank at the minute?
You get almost a sense of impatience.
Okay.
Slight impatience, but from the visions that you received earlier, I'd assume you would understand why the slight impatience. But apart from that, just the general feelings you've been getting from it previous.
We've got a big yellow door here. Carry on this way?
Well, if we are mapping it out, yes, I guess so.
Am I giving you enough time to chalk this down, Fibble?
Verbal? Muted.
Sorry, I was sending a message to somebody. Yeah, plenty of time. He's all good.
Right, I'm going to check this door for traps.
Yeah, for brevity, it's not trapped. Most of these doors look the same.
Cool.
Don't go any further than that. Just for the moment, just stay at the door.
It's a stairs down.
Yeah. So what you see is, as you walk or step through the door, you see a set of staircases. One leading down to a landing down here, and then it turns and heads down around the corner, down another set of stairs, leading downwards into the darkness.
Yeah, it's going to the next level. Should we close this one and
come back to it? Yeah.
I'll close the door.
Just in case you step too far forward and actually disappeared onto the second level.
No, that's right. As soon as I saw the stairs, I thought, no, they ain't going no further. That's cool, thank you.
Cool. So as you continue moving on,
last door, same thing.
So Scathus, I did notice you move up to the arrow slit before. So just to give you an idea of what you would have seen looking down through the arrow slit, where you saw the lights, the light moving past as you came into the temple. There's a large open area, 4 large pillars, floor to ceiling. The large statue of a hooded figure in the northern part of this, with 2 landings either side. One of the landings is crumbled and broken, and looks like it may have been might have been partly a cave-in or something like that, but it looks damaged. But you can see a couple of doorways across the way as well. So you get the impression you might be able to move all the way around, possibly, maybe. Just to give you a bit of information there. So, the next door. Once again, Karnos, we won't worry about an investigation check. We'll try and too many investigation rolls just gets a little boring. But the door seems to appear the same as the others. Untrapped, unlocked. And as you move in, to this newly found room. Dominating this room is a 12-foot tall model of a dark castle. High walls and tall spires, which is right in the center on this table here. Behind it, tucked in a corner, is some ruined furnishings and an old wooden chest, which is about there on your map. So in the months leading up to the construction of Castle Ravenloft, it seems, this room was occupied by the castle's architect. You look at the model, and from what your memories tell you of Castle Ravenloft when you were last there, this is almost a scale model of Castle Ravenloft. The spires, the towers, the walls, very detailed, in fact.
We could copy a layout of this. Get to know the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And we could tear it apart and see if there's like trapdoors or secret rooms or stuff.
We can't. Can we look inside? Is it just the outer?
It's just it looks like a
the
scale
outer map?
model that's been sculpted out of the stone. So it's not. It doesn't show the interior of the castle. So it's all just the exterior walls, parapets, the castle itself. So it looks like it's been magically. You can't see any chisel marks or tooling marks on the stone model. It looks like it may have been done magically.
It's not like one of those doll houses where you take off the roof and then take off the floor. And
no, it's just an exterior view.
We could still get an outside view. We could find a way. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
It is, yeah. Excellent idea. Purple, you scratch that up on another bit of paper.
Yeah, whilst you do that, I'll have a look at this chest, yeah?
Okay. Maybe there's blueprints or something in the chest. Look.
Very good idea.
So you having a look in the chest, Adam?
Before he does, Alice going to turn to Carlos and go,
Carlos, what's that? Do you remember a story? Something about a chest that's not a chest or something? It's got teeth in it. Or am I making stuff up?
No, there's actual creatures that can turn into not just chests, but tables, doors, anything that they could really, the size-wise. Yeah, I forget what they're called.
Mimics. We had one in Nomengard. It ate many people.
Yeah, mimic. Because I guess.
You mean that door that I found at that?
Oh yes, Gaithus also found a door. He got licked.
That's right, he did too. I almost forgot about that.
Emilia? Oh, no, different one.
No, Gaithus got licked. No, if Emilia got licked, it would probably be good for her.
We might not be in this trouble if she had it being licked. Instead, she was bitten, and now she's gone.
No, she's not. She's right here. And I hold up a little fox.
We will copy the map so we can go.
Alex going to tentatively, with his staff, tap on the chest to see if it does anything.
Tap on the chest, nothing happened.
look, I really don't want to die, but I really want to know what's inside. Does anyone feel a little bit, yeah, you know what, I'll go and open it.
So, Fibble, you spending the time while Adoc's doing this to make a sketch of the model?
Yeah.
While doing that, roll a performance check while Adoc is lifting the lid on this said chest. As you lift the lid, you open it, nothing happens. It's full of old rags and a couple of old books, and there's a map case. Cylinder, leather-bound map case. You'd recognise it from your mentor. He would have had several of these holding different parchments and different, probably mats of different areas. Probably sold a few in your time.
Is the case empty? I don't know yet.
We see just a leather-bound map case. It's sealed.
I would definitely take that.
Well, it's closed. I wouldn't say sealed. It's definitely closed.
Yeah. And on the mention, remembering Zadriel and Karnos' conversation, this could be blueprints for castle in here.
this case.
Well, it's not. Open it. Find out.
Yeah, but what if this is a mimic?
It would have already tried to eat your arm.
Roll a perception check for me.
6.
It's fine to you.
Great, I'm going to open it.
You open it, and as the top sort of goes, phoom, sort of undo the buckle and pull the top off, it makes that sort of popping, hollow popping sound, and alas, it is empty. Maps maybe long rotted or long taken, who knows.
Ooh, actually, Adok would then, seeing it empty, he would put it down, take off his backpack, and whip out a scroll and put it inside the map case, and then
Yeah.
close it.
You gonna take the map case with you?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
put it all back in the backpack. Yeah.
Cool, no worries, easily done. You wish to rummage further through the chest? There are a few other bits and pieces in there.
Yeah,
that was sort of
absolutely.
sitting on the top. So make another perception check as you run it, rummaging through the odds and ends in this chest.
12.
As you're rummaging through, you're sort of tossing aside the stuff that you know has no value whatsoever, old rags, a couple of old books that you sort of open as some weird story about a dude that likes to dance in thongs. It's just weird, odd. But you eventually sort of get to the bottom of the chest, and as you hit the bottom of the chest with your right hand, the bottom moves. You press it again, and the bottom sort of bounces just a little. You reach in and you get your claws, just the tip of your claws, under a piece of the base and lift it, and it comes free. Find yourself another book. This book's in pretty good condition. It's in common, the title, and it just says Tome of Understanding written on the front.
Adok would definitely open the book to see what, pray tell, he might understand.
Just skimming over the first few pages, you almost get an instant sense of intuition, like knowledge, insight maybe. An interesting read. You definitely want to read it. It's just that first couple of pages are just enthralling. Something that it draws you into it.
That is, okay, that's probably what Alex is just going to keep doing now until someone so we start moving. Just keep reading it.
You just start reading.
Yeah.
So just to give you, it should be in D&D Beyond. If you can't find it, you need to spend 48 hours reading it over a period of 6 days or fewer to gain the benefit from it. And until you've read it, so mark down. I mean, you can start reading it now, but you're gonna, if you're wanting to read it fully, you're gonna have to mark down the hours that you've read it. Each night or each day to discover what it actually is.
Okay, too easy.
Well, have you finished your drawing, mate?
Yeah, it would be nice if this had like by level.
So what was your performance check?
19.
Pretty good.
I think.
Pretty good drawing. I mean, Fibble, you're used to drawing schematics and all manner of technical things. So just sketch out a building or a castle, not too much of a hassle.
Everyone done in here?
Yep. Next room.
Hold a
Carlos,
second.
make a perception check for me.
Good as gold.
Whew.
So close to being a nat 20. 8.
And for a moment you thought, as you sort of turned and went to walk towards the door, there was something caught your eye on the opposite side of the room, on the wall, but sort of as you turned to look again, you don't notice anything.
Before he did that little double take, he's opens his bag, remembering something he found in the bag of holding. He opens the bag of holding and thinks about the smith's tools that were in there.
Indeed.
Brings out the hammer and the smith's chisel, walks over to the Strahd castle and says, just thinking of something. And he starts to chip away at one of the edges of the fence just to see if it actually chips away.
No need to roll for it. You put the chisel on a piece of the stone wall, strike it with the hammer, and it glances off, sparks, steel on stone, doesn't leave a mark.
Fibble, these are Smith's tools, are they not?
Yeah.
And yet, I cannot carve the stone with these Smith's tools. Could this thing be magically intertwined with the real thing?
Not my wheelhouse, but possible.
Are you not able to see magical items?
But I can, yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't wish to ask you to waste any of your energy, but it might be pertinent to see if this is of magic in nature.
I could take 10 minutes and cast it, which wouldn't waste.
If everyone doesn't mind.
What happens if we find out it's magical, though? What does
Well,
it
mate,
mean?
We break it. We break the fucking thing down so that, Strahd's house falls around his ears, and there's a way to kill him without actually having to be there.
Well, I was thinking something along those lines. Sorry, Zadriel.
I take my hammer and I slam it down on the thing, on the castle.
No need to roll to hit, as it is stationary, easy enough to hit. Zadriel, you raise your hammer, clockwork hammer, high above your head, bring it down on the centre of the castle. It strikes with a heavy thump and clang of metal against stone at sort of low cling, and sparks again, but the castle takes no damage.
It's magical.
See, that should have smashed it to Schmidt.
Can we unmagic it?
Yes, if we had an unmagic device, but we don't.
I have this spell, but I don't want to use it on a castle.
Oh, what's
Toy.
the spell?
It cancels other magics sometimes.
It's possible that could work, right?
Or it won't.
So should we come back to this?
Possibly.
Zadriel, make a
You know what?
perception check for me.
Alex is gonna nod out, take his nose out from his book, and he's gonna look up to everyone and go, "Well, if we become a god, or any one of us get power here, then we could potentially have the power to undo whatever power who's done this to this."
What are you reading, Haddock?
I'm understanding something.
I got a dirty 20.
So about here, Zadriel,
Oh, wait
As
a minute. I gotta go. Okay, where?
in Foundry,
Oh, okay.
about there, about there, as you sort of stand there, you feel a breeze, sort of just on the back of your neck and here, from behind you. And as you turn, you can feel it on your face, just ever so faintly.
Feeble? It's something over here on the Like a breeze or something. Can you check the wall? Who is good at finding traps and things? You, the two little people, huh?
I'm good at investigating. I'm an investigator.
All right, Mr. Investigator, investigate. Investigation roll, please. If anyone wishes to assist, you get it with advantage. Don't matter.
26.
How is yeah, never mind.
So, Fiddlesip, as you move around, don't worry moving your token, but as you move around next to Zadriel and you sort of hold your hand up about her shoulder height, and you can, as you wave your hand, you can feel that slight cool breeze, and think, yeah. So you run your hands across the wall and you feel a slight difference in the stone, and you press on it, and you open a secret door in the wall leading to a stairwell you recognize, Carlos. Unsure why it would be there, but there's now another open way to the stairs.
Mr.
Why
Fib?
would you put a secret door there?
Yeah, you're full of surprises, mate.
Maybe if we get locked in or something, we can have another way out.
Possibly.
Now we got. Damn it. Now we have to look for secret doors.
Well, shit. All right.
Well, we know for furthering forward to search for those sort of things. Shall we?
Yeah, okay. Next. Double door.
Dumbledore?
Yeah, he was a funny fella.
It sounds gnomish.
He does sound gnomish.
So you move yourselves back to the hallway. Now, I need everyone to roll a perception check, please, before heading any further.
Adok, getting out to this point here, would then again poke his head up from the book, just to look at the doors and go, "Oh yeah, when I was invisible looking around, this place was smelling pretty good coming through these doors. Good food."
So you're still reading the book? Okay.
Yeah.
Duly noted. I was wondering what the hell. Okay, so yeah, Adok has the book in his hand. He's just reading it, sort of not really looking up every now and then to see where he's going, but he's just intently reading. One hand on the book, one hand on the staff. Reading, indeed. What's up, Spinner? So, perception rolls all round, please. Adok with disadvantage because you're reading a book.
Natural 1.
Natural 1 from Carlos.
15.
15.
11.
11. Bibble and Adok.
That doesn't seem right. I got a 17 with disadvantage.
Well, you'll understand why when I explain what's happening. Bibble.
10
10?
for my perception.
So, Adok and Zadriel. Anyone over 15, basic. So I think it was Adok, Zadriel. What did you get, Skathis?
He was low, 11.
11?
10.
10? Okay, so Adok probably, you being the highest, Adok being the highest, your sense of smell is pretty good. And again, you smell that same smell you smelt when you were here last. Smell of food. It is good food. Like, you can smell roast pork and maybe turkey. Something smells really good coming from that room. Zadriel, you're catching whiffs of food as well. Roast meats, smell of wine can be smelled. Very distinctive.
Do you smell? Is someone supposed to be cooking in here?
You don't hear anything.
That sounds suspicious.
You don't hear anything, but you smell it.
That smells suspicious.
It's a long dead temple. Why would there be food here? Unless it's that elf dude.
We just need to
Maybe
be
he came
careful.
back. Maybe he went to cook some food for us.
Well,
All right, let's open the door.
This is a double doorway. The last double doors were those skull guys. Do you guys want to step back while I open the door, just for safety's sake? And maybe into the room.
I'll go to the side. Kind of
I
stuck
would-
on the side.
I would like to say that being well fed means that promotes healthy muscle growth. So that's really good because that means more strength, which is more power.
Which means someone's cooking the food, which means someone's... Yeah.
Fibble, you know how I said you were full of surprises before?
Yeah.
It seems that other artificers are just full of shit.
Yeah.
I open the doors.
So even though those lights are lit, they're not. As you sort of open the doors, it's quite dark. You can see a large table. You can see the stuff on it. And now with the doors open, you can all get that wafting smell of food. The room appears to be empty, but the lights are not lit currently.
It's a dark room.
So it's dark. I'm going to use my light cantrip on my shield.
Karnos, I think, has a sword up. So he's
you have the
he's lit
sword
as
up,
well.
so you're good. Okay.
Yeah. But as you
So
walk
there's
into
torches?
the room, the lights, one by one, illuminate on their own, revealing a large dining table with several seats. Into the room, covering the table is a magnificent feast. It fills the hall with rich smells of cooked meat, sweet vegetables, piping hot gravy, and wine. The table is large. You've got maybe 12 settings there.
Fucking wine again. Can't
You
there be
like-
some mead in this place?
Oh, you don't like wine. I thought you were... Okay, well...
I mean, I like it, but I'm over it. I normally mix it up a bit, whiskey, wine, mead, beer. Alcoholic beverages should be shared around.
Don't you have a distillery you're doing currently on your back or something?
Oh yeah, the one I put in the place where we were staying, and the whole town got bloody blown to bits.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you know? Like, throw a thingo in the range, but where the fuck did all this come from? It's been abandoned for years. Where's the food come from?
Or maybe that guy, the Dark Elf that was with us, maybe he cast it to have a feed.
No.
Maybe it's a trap? Is it really even food? Should we touch it?
No.
Adok, go check if that's food, good food. You,
No.
you like food, don't you?
Don't touch it.
Huh? I mean, yeah, but no, I'm good. I'm reading at the moment. You have a look.
Could be power.
What'd you say? Power? Is that right? Well,
Well, like, you've been going on about having power for most of the morning, so go for it.
Skate, if all of us say don't touch it and you say touch it, why are you doing this?
That's a good point.
Oh,
Adok, don't
So-
eat
sorry,
it.
sorry,
Doesn't like ad hoc.
sorry.
You want
Adok.
that up to get it hurt.
I mean, I wasn't going to touch it. I mean, I think everyone knows this is logically a trap. Clearly. It's obvious.
Should we check for secret doors?
It's a good smelling trap, I'll give it that.
That it is. Agreed, Zedriel. I can aid you if you wish.
Adok,
So I check the walls.
just before that, Adok, as you move in and look up at the table, the one thing you notice, probably above anyone else, because of your merchant skills and your affinity to the shiny, in the center of the table, the large ewer bowl of sorts. Gold, bronze, Around the edges is carved in elks, dancing bulls, bear. It's beautiful. Probably more beautiful than any dish that you've seen in your years as a merchant. Sure, that would fetch an amazing price on the open market.
Guys, we all agree that the food is the trap, right? Yeah.
It's holding food. It's got fruit, grapes,
Yeah.
bananas, apples, and that, but it's right in the center of the table. It's the one thing that stands out from everything else. All the other dishes are fine. Like there are fine dishes there, but this one thing does stand out to you.
As you're saying this too, you can see Adok would slowly walk forward towards this bowl as he's looking at it sideways, going,
Yeah, it's just the food that is the poison and the trap, but not the bowls or the chairs or the stuff. I just can't pick it. What? I just can't pick it up. A little bit. Not
I think anything on that table is a trap. I think the whole freaking thing is fake.
Yes, but what if it was a trap within a trap, therefore not a trap?
I swear to God, if you touch
That does
something
not
and
make
we have
sense.
to, we get hurt, you're not touching anything else in the temple. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, remember what Casimir said? Casimir said it's safest if you didn't really touch anything. He said directly to you. I think he even gave you that command.
Wait, am I still under that? Can I touch things anymore? Yeah.
He did release you from it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did too.
And it only lasted for 8 hours anyway. That would be long gone.
The reason he said that is because he knew you were susceptible to, like a magpie, to shiny things.
Okay, it's got to be a trade-off. What if I don't touch it, but I get some gold?
That's fair. And Chaos
What?
hands you 1 gold.
Done. That'll do. I guess.
Good, because I was going to give him so much more.
Oh,
Then we got
we
Major.
No.
You know what I'm
No.
thinking? Yeah, you know what.
No.
Yes.
Don't. No.
We could all stand out of the room and then your bird
No.
could touch it.
No.
Yeah. What's the worst that
No.
could happen?
We
Something
die?
breaks my bird and I break you.
Well, we can fix it. Look at this.
No.
Go on. What
You
if
touch
it's...
it, you don't touch anything else. Or you leave it alone and you can have my share of the gold in here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. All right. How about, well, leave it for now, and if we don't find anything, we come back, we'll take it.
Touch it later. There you go.
Right, deal. Done. Sold. Good trade. Well done.
When we're all left and you're all here by your lonesome.
All right, sounds fair.
All right, sure. Now, we were doing something, Zedril. You wanted help with looking?
Yeah, I'm going to check the walls for doors or anything like niches or switches or...
Roll investigation.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I was aiding here too. I offered to.
Advantage.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
What did I
Adok, what are you doing that close to the table? What are you specifically doing?
Just looking at the bowl.
Just looking at the bowl.
Yeah.
You touch one of the chairs. It's real. It moves.
I
Food
think
smells
that's-
smooth. The food smells so good that close. Like it's making your mouth water. Looking at this, it's like a suckling pig with an apple in its mouth, and it looks really good. And yeah, that bowl, it's calling to you. Pretty spectacular. Now that you're a little closer, you can see the small gemstones encrusted around the outside. Rubies, diamonds.
Get Haddock away from the table, people. And let's get through this door.
Adok, if you come over by me, come through this door, I will give you 10 gold right now.
Oh,
know-
it looks
you
like
know-
it's worth a lot more than 10 gold.
You know that bowl's worth a lot more.
I'll give
Okay.
you 100 gold.
You know what? We made a deal, and I'm a stickler. When a deal's done, and so we said we could come back if we don't find anything more. So Fibble, mark it down in this room. That's where the bowl is.
You guys are distracting me. I cannot find anything on these walls. Someone has mastered it. I can't concentrate.
If you can't find it, that's all right. We've found nothing. Next room.
I
Are you ready?
I'll look for now. I'll investigate rooms.
From
It'll
this
help me for
point
the
forward.
map anyway.
Right, is everyone ready for me to open this door? Three, two, one.
Knock yourself out.
And indeed, as you open the door, you notice that you're out on a landing of sorts that's crumbled away the floor below. The drop from that little balcony is 30 feet, the ground below. But it's a fair drop. Probably could climb down if you really wanted to, but if you were to jump, you would probably take some damage. You now see the statue a little more clearly. The statue is probably 30 feet tall, 30, 40 feet tall at the waist. Then as you sort of step out a lot, and you can sort of look up, and the statue is huge. Sort of look up, and it's an odd shaped thing. It's just a hooded figure. It doesn't look like Strahd like most other statues and things you've found on these lands. But it's impressive nonetheless. Set of doors
I wonder who that guy was.
here as well.
He's big, whoever he was.
Very big boy.
Is this floor safe, Ganos? You okay?
Oh,
We
it
okay
doesn't
to-
seem...
Seems sturdy enough, but wary of the edge.
Okay.
There's a few loose rocks and stone across the edge there.
Just being a little careful. Right, double doors again, team. Unless you want to rappel down to the floor.
Then that would be a different floor, and I'll
Yeah,
have to
we'll do
start
that.
Yes.
again.
No, that's all right. Keep mapping. Check the door in 3, 2, 1. Are you ready?
Go.
So as you open the double doors, you see another set of double doors to your right. This is a bare stone room. Consists of a foyer of sorts, and in the eastern side, on the western side, you can see a shrine over this end of the room. Candlesticks draped with cobwebs stand in the four corners. In the foyer, the faceless obsidian statue stands in a slightly raised alcove. The slumped before the statue are two desecrated corpses in tattered garments. Two pairs of the alcoves line the north and south walls, so you can sort of see you got alcoves here and here, and it's got an odd shaped room, but these corpses are dried, almost mummified. The skin leathery and void of any life. Again, have been here a long time.
Are they burnt like the last guy that was dead in the
No,
hallway?
they're not burnt. They just seem to maybe have died. Almost, it's kind of hard to see how they died. They don't look like they've got any visible wounds on them. Could be magic, could be natural causes, could have starved to death. Who knows?
It's odd to be looking at a statue when you die. Were they praying to it? Were they on their knees, maybe?
It's like possibly. It's kind of hard to tell after so long. But I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Ah, wisdom save.
Is this against a spell?
Yes, it would be.
16.
So Fibber with advantage. 16. 16 is what you need. All those under a 16, let me know.
Do we get a +5 because there's that drill?
I would say Adult probably wouldn't, because nose in book, hand on staff probably lag him back a little bit.
Yep.
The rest of the party probably would, being that they're paying a little bit more attention.
Okay, Adok fails.
The Adult fails the wisdom save. Anyone else fail?
No.
Everyone else
Not with a
succeeds.
28, no.
No, you're pretty good. So, I need... Adok, you have failed this. Roll a D2 for me. So roll a D4, 1 to 2 and 3 to 4, please. The 1 to 2 you'll get one effect, 3 to 4 you'll get the other. What did you get?
Got a 1 and a 2.
No, just one. Just roll 1d4. So
got a one.
take your first one. So 1. So you have an intense urge to leave this area and avoid that statue at the end of the room. Some reason you just can't be in there. You don't want to be any closer than that.
Okay. Adok's just gonna walk backwards.
Yeah, the moment you're out of the room, the feeling dissipates. Moment that statue's out of your sight, you're good. But while you were in the side of that statue, for some reason you just could not be in the room any longer. It was very intense.
You know what? I might read this book out here. I don't really know about.
So essentially, you're frightened of the statue.
No, I'll just wait until, I'll go round. Long way. All right?
No.
Yeah.
No. Stand next to me.
Yeah,
You
I
won't
know.
be far. You won't be. No, I can. We got another door here. We'll just skip right through, huh? After Feeble checks for secrets.
Look, it's something about. Zadriel, can I speak to you for a minute?
Okay.
While that's going on, I'm going to do an investigation check.
Are you looking for secret passages or secret doors?
Yes, with
No
23.
worries. 23? That's a good roll.
Yeah.
As you move around the room, Zadriel moves out and talks to Adok. You slowly move around, you check the candles. You've seen candlesticks used as levers for doors. You check all the candlestick holders. They're all just mundane and useless. You check around the statue. Even though, you get close to the statue and you get a weird feeling from it, even though you passed the wisdom save, you still get a weird feeling from this thing. It's odd. But you pay it no attention. You get to about here when it pings. You get to about there in the room. I'll even put you over there. And you spy a similar discoloration in the stone as you did in the previous room. You wish to do the same and press on to the stone.
I'll actually go, hey, Kaunos, you want to push on this?
Okay, what is it?
I think it's another secret door. Or something like that.
Okay.
Just stay away from that statue. That statue is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay, maybe when we're done pushing the stone, we can turn the statue around so it doesn't look at you.
You're getting the same sort of willies from the statue as well, Kaunos.
Okay.
Definitely gives you an uneasy feeling.
I push the stone Phil talked about, and then after I do that, I want to go to the statue and push it over. There you go, I pressed your stone.
And a another door opens. You go to turn to look at the statue. You look at it and you know you ain't pushing that over. 20 feet tall. Looks like it may even be possibly attached to the ground it's standing on. It's not freestanding at all, which is pretty obvious. So, as you open this door, hundreds of skulls fall out of the cavity behind the door into the room at your feet, and almost burying Fibblestub up to the shoulder. Like it's like soccer balls falling out of a closet. Just hundreds of skulls fall out of this room. This room is 30-foot high ceiling that's packed to the ceiling with human skulls. It literally almost buries Fibblestub you're up to your sort of knees in skulls as they just keep continually falling out and spilling out into the room. Skathis, you see these skulls sort of spilling out around the little alcove. Fibble, by the time the skulls stop moving, you're virtually buried in skulls. There's that many skulls in this room. Adok and Zadriel, you'd hear the sound of bone hitting stone, and just the sound, this weird sound of just lots of things moving in the room you've just come from. And Zadriel, as you poke your head around the corner to see what's going on, you see this pile of skulls sort of spilling into the room and virtually burying Fibblestub, and now up to almost waist height on you, Karnos. It's going to take you a little while to get through it, to move around it. There's a lot of them.
You right, Fibble?
Yeah.
I reach down for your hand and try to pull you out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no need to strength check. You managed to sort of pull him enough to get his head above water, so to speak.
This is... Why?
More to the question is how? How do you get them all in there and then close the door without it all falling out on you?
Well, actually, it'd make more sense if this was a sealed room and they dumped it in from above.
Oh.
Can I clamber over the skulls and look in and see if there's like a hole
It'll
above?
take you a few minutes to sort of climb your way up to the top. It's hard work. I mean, these things are obviously not steady and stable, so it's like walking on round rocks. It's a bit of an effort. In fact, make a dexterity save for me as you sort of try and clamber across and get a look through the door.
14.
You stumble and trip. You don't do any damage. It takes you a little bit to sort of steady yourself, and you get to a position where you can look into this room, and you look up. You don't see a hole in the roof. What you do see is attached to the ceiling, 30 feet up, the chest, upside down, lid closed.
Fibble?
Got a barrel-shaped lid on it, so it's chest with a sort of half-barrel type lid on it.
There's a chest hanging from something up here, upside down. One of those big, curvatured top chests hanging above these skulls.
Why?
Someone's playing bloody jiggery pokery with us.
Hold that thought. We can switch
make
over
sense.
to Zadriel and Adok, who were outside of the room before this happened. So right before this happened, Zadriel, you move out to talk to Adok, who is refusing to come back inside of this room.
Zadriel has an aura of courage around her, so that any friendly creatures within 10 feet can't be frightened and don't feel frightened. So as I come out to Adok...
Is that replacing your aura of protection?
No, it stacks. It's my, when I leveled. It's an aura. I have an aura of protection, and now I have an aura of courage as well.
Yeah, this has been the thing of much discussion amongst DMs on whether Paladin auras stack, whether you can have more than one active at any given time.
Yeah, it's a passive when you level.
Yeah, if it's a passive one, we'll say that it stacks. But I think we still have to be very careful about sort of how OP that can potentially make Paladins. So it's still 10 feet?
Mm-hmm.
So as you move closer to Adok, you feel better, but you still won't go in that room. Still frightened. Does it stop him from being frightened, or is it just...
It says it can't be frightened, so...
Does it stop someone who is already frightened, or does it stop them from becoming frightened after the fact? I think that's probably more the clarification.
I mean, technically he was within 10 feet when it happened, I think. So
no, he wasn't. That's why he failed.
Well, so it just says 10 feet can't be frightened. So
because he was outside of the 10-foot radius, which is why he failed in the first place. So we'll rule it that you feel better with Zadriel close, but if she moves away from you, that will remain for the time being. So at the moment, you don't feel afraid of the statue, but if you were to move 10 feet away from Zadriel, that frightened condition would return.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say, look, I know I'm hindering and slowing people down. I apologise. It's just that room is terrifying me. There's something about a statue I really don't like. You maybe just smash it to bits for me.
smash it.
Yeah, like break it. Just destroy it.
Is it metal or is it stone?
It's stone.
Well, you're not gonna. And I peek around the door at all the skulls and Carno's holding Fibble a hand out.
It's going to take you a bit to get to it. There's a lot of skulls there.
You're probably not gonna like what else is in there, but if you just stay next to me, it'll be fine. We'll go to the next room, and
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I don't know. Stay next to Scathers.
Yeah.
With you and read it. Yeah.
Put your hood over, so you don't have to look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If I just put the book up like this, and I don't can't even see it.
What is the book anyway?
Well, it's complicated. Very highbrow matter of understand. You wouldn't get it.
Oh.
Artificer things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go. So I'm gonna walk back in to where Fibble is and make sure Fibble's okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna take you a little bit to get to it, because as you walk in the room, the skulls are spilled out into the bulk of this room. It's literally like walking on tennis balls, well, soccer balls. Like trying to you'd have to sort of shuffle your way through it. You'd eventually get to him. It'd take you a few minutes, but you would eventually get to him and pull him free. Or if you wanted to pull him free, you can see Karnos is clambering his way over top of these skulls to get to this room, and it would be about this time you'd hear him talk to Fibble and say that there's a chest hanging upside down in this room.
Oh, Fibble tells me this?
You heard Karnos say that as you both entered into the room.
Look, Karnos, Fibble, Arok's a bit scared of this statue, so maybe we...
In fact, the only person that's not getting the willies from the statue is you, Zadriel. You didn't even need to make the save based on your aura, because you just cannot be frightened while you're conscious.
Fibble, you want it? What's the room look like in there? Is there any more doors, or is it?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Fibble's having trouble just standing up at this point.
I'm gonna pull him out of the. Dust him off.
This place is confusing the shit out of it. Why would you make a room, fill it with skulls, and then hang a chest from the roof?
Maybe it's a trap, or it's a. I don't know. Is it a mimic?
Carlos slides out on his ass on the skulls, rolling down as well.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 feet high, so yeah, you managed to sort of roll your way down to back to the floor.
It must be a trap. You wouldn't. I'm pretty dumb, but even I wouldn't do this.
They want you to go up there and open it, so something must be.
It's temptation, all right. This is this whole place. That's what the Led Zeppelin guy said. What was his name? Kashmir.
What?
Casimir. That's what he said. He said everything was made to tempt us here. We don't want to be tempted. We just need to find the things that we need.
So, do I investigate the room then?
Yeah, but I wouldn't touch that chest though. If you.
I can't reach the chest anyway, so it doesn't make difference. But I look.
You want to go back into the room and investigate the room, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you need a light?
It is pretty dark. I mean,
no.
But Fibble's got it covered, I think. Do you have a torch, Fibble? Because it is pretty dark.
I'll go up to Zadriel and say, "Here, touch," and hand her like a arm part to light.
So
ooh, actually, no.
No.
No, I'll get her to cast light on the owl and have the owl sit on my shoulder.
Sounds good. So a light is cast on Fibblestib. Fibblestib's owl, and the owl sits on your shoulder. You make your way over, back up the pile of rocks, trying not to fall through and into the rocks, the skulls. Sorry. Again, takes you a number of minutes to sort of clamber across there. Make an athletics check for me, just to see how badly this looks. This gnome trying to clamber over this pile of skulls to get to this room.
Not very good with a 7.
Yeah, he looks gangly as all hell. Like he's slipping, he's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, and falls a couple of times and slides back down, has to get his footing, hear him swear under his breath. Eventually makes it to the room. Once in the room, roll investigation. Again, I'd say this time with advantage, because I think you've got an idea of what you're looking for. Boy, Noddy. Holy noises.
Plane's landing.
Someone's got a plane landing in the Amber Temple.
Yeah, Doc.
It sounds like Adolf might be flying around again.
What did you eat?
22.
Oof.
Indeed, Fibblestib, you do find another discoloured stone on this wall.
Yell out and go, "Okay, guys. Found another stone. So, do I push it?" Guys.
Do you think
Oh, sorry, I was talking. Push it, I guess. You have to map the place, huh?
Wait a minute. Do we go? Yeah, okay, I'll push it.
They push it? Okay. Another stone door opens. I will put you where you would be. And that is what you see, Mr. Fibblestib. No one else can see this, just bear that in mind at this point. Fibble, you're in this room on your own. As you peer in, 15-foot high room contains the trappings of royalty, ornate furniture, exquisite rugs and tapestries, a decorative statuary. Everywhere you look, a lit candelabra atop tables. The beauty of the decor is undone by thick dust and cobwebs, however. Standing in the center of the room is a decrepit skeleton clad in tattered robes, at this point unmoving.
Did you find anything?
There's a room in here with a skeleton standing there.
Oh, shall we come in?
As you say the word skeleton standing here, you notice a flicker of red in its eyes. Its head slowly turns towards you.
Let me rephrase that. A creepy looking skeleton standing here.
Do I know you? It asks.
I don't know. Do I know you?
And that's who we'll call tonight's session, guys. Going to call a little bit early because I don't want to get involved with anything right before we are due to finish. Anyway, we normally finish about 10:30, but that is where we're going to call tonight's session. Well done, team. Another great RP session from everybody. Some pretty cool references popping up in this particular episode tonight. Thank you so much for the raiders coming in there. We had Rogue dropping in with 34 viewers, dude. Thank you so much. And Zach the DM dropping in with 13 viewers earlier as well. Thank you so much for the follows and the raids. Awesome source. Appreciate it very, very much. As per usual, we are going to go around our cast and get some moments from tonight's session. Also to chat, if you have moments that stood out for you, at Evldoa in the chat so we can read them out. They could be DM moments, they could be player moments, they could be story moments, anything that stands out from you from the session. So we will start with Fibblestib tonight, I think. Mr. Sadiq.
I enjoyed Adoc's, trying to take power without going nuts with Gaithless. And then, it's like, that staff doesn't work for you. And then he tries to use it anyway. And it's like...
I wasn't sure how I was going to sort of do that. And I thought, well, it's not attuned, so technically it should work at all. But I thought, nah, he's going to try and summon its power. Something's going to happen. And it's generally going to happen to him, I think. Not being attuned to it.
It's going to backfire on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then actually it would have to be the map itself, like the room full of skulls. Like literally, how the fuck did you do that?
That's in the module. I mean, honestly, that's not something I came up with. That part is in the module. So
no, I want to know how the hell you
magic, man. This is the world of magic.
Oh,
of course, it's done with magic.
How no? I'll have to knock.
Well, you could. Fibblestib could always try and find out if he wants.
Yeah.
It's a magic thing, exactly. Magic the gamer. There you go.
Yeah.
Adoc the Grey, Mr. Cameron.
There was a couple. Just a little hilarious thing. Karnos again talking about just of the branches break from the trees that support the leaves, and the birds in the nests will fall out, and that's not good. Like just rambling about that, I found hilarious. But I also thoroughly enjoyed the back and forth I got from Skathis. I actually really thoroughly enjoyed that. So that was cool. On the off chance that he does say something and speak, it's great. It's good fun.
Yeah, when he does speak.
And then just the imagery, again describing the Reuben Fibble being covered in bones. And just how he acted towards the skeleton towards the end, that definitely had me laughing for sure.
Awesome. Skathis, Mr. Trashman.
Fibble and the skulls. What came to mind? Kid in a ball pit.
Pretty much. That I think that was the intention behind it. I think.
That's all I could think of. Just. And that's
awesome. It. That's it for you, Karnos.
There's a few tonight. I'll just whip out a couple. The DM, when someone's looking through stuff and there was a book of a dancing bikini or thong dude or something.
It's not random books, so what would it be about? Oh, dancing Loxodon. Why not?
And then Fibble and Adoc both had some good ones, but Fibble, I think, with the old wait, do we go? Okay, I pushed the button. So yeah, very good.
Zadriel.
Garno saying, if we take a rung out of this ladder, you can have another piece of shit stick. I like that. That was funny. And the Artificer comment also when he's like, "Oh, what's wrong about you, Fibble? Other artificers are just full of shit." That's a lot.
Just so you guys are aware, I'm definitely playing that
That's his flaw.
Venomous thought.
That's his
flaw.
fly. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
part of the dark
it's
gifts.
coming.
So yeah,
It's coming through.
that's what I figured it was. So that
Being
was
blatantly honest all
yeah.
the time when it needs to be.
yeah. Whenever you're honest, you got to be honest to be most hurtful. It's a great
Yeah.
dark gift. I think it's probably the best one. And just a quick clarification for again, we had a couple of extra DMs and Tel and Mr. Jackson in the chat clarifying the auras, paladin auras. I've always been a little confused about it myself and unsure about stacking of it. But even reading them, it literally says, while you are conscious, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet can't be frightened. And as does the aura of protection. While you are conscious, you grant all friendly creatures, including you within 10 feet, +5 bonus to all saving throws. So it's not something you turn on or turn off. It is while you are conscious and alive, it's just there.
Baz puts something up in Skype chat too, which
Yeah.
I think it really depends.
Also a really good YouTube video by the Dungeon Dude
Yeah,
on it,
I mean,
so.
to me, the way it reads, they do stack because it pretty much just says while you're conscious. That's how I read it, and on the character sheet.
Yeah.
I've never actually
think,
read the official rule on it.
I think Tao also
It's-
said if it's a separate paladin.
Yeah,
they
Yeah,
don't
but
separate
again,
attack,
like
it
it
does
says, the
stack.
aura. I mean, that's from obviously the
And-
official rules designer of 5e. It literally states.
Yeah.
I mean, he says that they don't stack.
And
But
it
again,
says
I
like
think it's
starting at
yeah,
10th level, starting at this level. It's like now can do this, so
I just think we have to be careful. For again, from a DM's perspective, how OP does that make your team? They all decide to stick 10 feet within 10 feet of the paladin at all times. I mean, it can be detrimental too, obviously. But when you get to 15th level and 20th level, you end up with four auras all running together. So that could make a paladin extremely OP. Can't be frightened. You got a +5 to your save. You might have the aura of vitality, which gives you the ability to heal every turn. I think we've got to be super careful. So we may make a side ruling that we will not stack any more than 2 at this point for the remainder of this campaign. We'll look at it. I'll look into it further. But I think again it's a DM's discretion thing. Ultimately, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's hard with all the rules and that. And like what I posted was from Jeremy Crawford, one of the writers, and it was talking about stacking auras, and apparently they've made an errata on it. So when we see the next copy of the book get released, you'll see an update on that by the looks.
Which probably needs to happen because of that grey area that comes up, and we've seen it not just in these particular events. We've seen it in a lot of spells and a lot of other rules as well, where it's just not 100% clear on its reading, so that leaves it open to interpretation. So for the time being, we'll leave it as it stands. The auras will stack for the remainder of it. Obviously, me as a DM may punish the stacking group occasionally. But the thing is, when you think about it, someone who was intelligent, you got a group stacked together, the first thing they do is drop an AoE. So, I mean, it may be beneficial or not. You never know. Well, the thing is, even with that chicken, you drop a fireball, you'll get +5 to your saves. That does give you an advantage if you're stacked. But there will be effects that may negate that, like anti-magic shells and things like that. So we'll definitely look at that. But either way, it's good to have that sort of discussion and get some different ideas from different DMs and sort of look into it. So, but obviously they know it, they're aware of it within 5e rule set, and they're looking to change it, which makes sense. But anywho, as far as my moment from tonight, the Morning Wood reference would have to stick out for me, obviously, because it's from my home campaign. And it's funny, even makes it a little bit funnier because we were actually discussing it in Discord with the other guys the other night.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah.
I said something about it too. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, I wasn't discussing that, but
No.
that must have been you guys, eh?
We were, I can't remember what we were talking about. I think we were playing New World and something come up, and I mentioned that we'd named our group the Morning Wood. So it was like, it just sort of came out, and then you happen to drop that into the game. It was just awesome. The whole context was great. But that's the end of our session for tonight. We'll be back again on Wednesday, players permitting. Cameron. But we will be back Wednesday. And we'll be continuing to explore the Amber Temple, and we will pick up at that point where Fibblestib has been confronted by a skeletal figure who wants to know if he knows him or not. So interesting stuff's ahead. Will Adok go pick up the bowl is the question.
I really wanted to so bad.
I know you did. I'm waiting for you to do it. I mean, I'm not telling you whether anything will happen or not, but I'm just waiting for you to do it because it'll be fun.
Any chance, any spare second I get, he's doing it.
I get that impression. But anywho, we're going to raid NZ Shroomy tonight. This is a New Zealand streamer. He's not playing D&D. He is playing some Terraria, some platformer game. But he is a cool dude. I haven't seen him online for a long time, so we're going to raid him. Make sure you drop him a follow. Nice guy. Plays a lot of retro games and such. But he's a hell of a nice dude. So we're definitely going to raid him. Pass on the raids that we have received. I'm pretty sure we got a shout out from Mr. Rogie Rogue before dropping the raid as well. If we didn't, can we please get another one for him before we move on? Make sure you go check out Mr. Rogie Rogue if you're into the EFED wrestling stuff, which most of us are involved with JJ's wrestling. EFED Rogie Rogue also runs another one over on his channel. Some of us are involved over there as well. Make sure you go check him out, chuck him a follow. Show our appreciation for the raid, and we will definitely be back tomorrow playing some New World dungeon stuff. If anyone's interested, anyone needs to run through the depths, happy to run you guys, help you guys with that. I'm almost at 60. I'll be looking at some 60 stuff. We may look at some Dynasty as well if we can get a group. We'll see, but we'll definitely be doing New World stuff tomorrow. So appreciate you guys all hanging out. Let's start the raid. We're going to say goodnight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.